popping, what's cracking, what's percolating, what is really good in the hood. It is your man Theo Butler, and you know what? It's superheroes at SEC Saturday. It is. It is. Y'all go ahead, man. Get ready. Get your coffee, your breakfast sandwich, your grit. Who got some grits, eggs, and sausage this morning with the gravy? You know what I'm saying? The gravy from the ham. Who got that? Who got the ham steak with the bone in the middle this morning? If you got that, I wish I was there to join you. All I got this morning is my cup of coffee. We're going to make it do what it do. But we do have superheroes at SEC Saturday. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this thing off. Y'all know how we start this thing. We take y'all all the way from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. right up until kickoff, which is, I got to be gone by kickoff because Georgia play Ball State. If I'm not mistaken, at 12 o'clock, y'all know we don't want to miss our own team playing football today. Yeah, we got a 12 p.m. kickoff, so we got to beat them. But before we do that, we got a lot to talk. Today is going to be a full show. Today is going to be a full show. Y'all going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. HasLab, Giant Man. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see the Giant Man? Did y'all see the Giant Man? Did y'all see the Giant Man action figure? 24 inches. 24 inches. Yes. 24 inches. That's 2 feet. That's 2 feet. Action figure, 6 inches, right? Standard action figure, 6 inches. Right. Super Adaptoid was 12 inches. Now, I had some questions because I know what I wanted the HasLab project to be, but because of what the failure with the engine of death, crazy. We can get vehicles for G.I. Joe classified, right? Cool. We can get vehicles for Star Wars, right? Cool. We can't get no vehicle for Marvel Legends. Hey, maybe the spirit of vengeance wasn't in and of itself a bad idea. Maybe the execution of it was a bad idea. You might need to revisit the spirit of vengeance. I think the ramen noodles did a vehicle or whatever, and they got spirit of vengeance accessories and everything. Beat that price that HasLab tried to get. The reason why I'm saying that is because there are quite a few of us that still want the Avengers Quinjet. I'm gonna say this one more time. I know action figure. You can't go wrong with an action figure. I get it. I understand. That said, there are quite a few of us that would be willing, more than willing, to part ways with our money if Hasbro could bring us a Quinjet. Be nice if you could put the Sky Cycle in there that they just gave us with the Hawkeye action figure. But an Avengers Quinjet, and mind you, watch this. MCU fans, comic book fans, you know what? When it comes to the Quinjet, it can either be the one on the big screen or it can be the one in the comic books. We cool with it. I like that. I like the ship that you did for the Star Wars fans. You gave them a nice ship. Nice. It even come with another side ship and everything like that. I know Theo, you supposed to be talking about the Giant Man action figure. There's really nothing much to talk about. The Giant Man action figure is just that. He's giant. He's 24 inches. And I'm of the mindset, I have to do some research on that. That ain't too far from the same size as the Sentinels. That's cool. But I don't believe he's too far off from being the same size as Galactus. That's a problem. That's a problem. And while we're talking about Giant Man, somebody had a question. Shout out to my brother Aaron, the Big Word Brinkley, and everything like that. He and one of his fellow action figure collectors had a question, conversation. They're not from the same demographic. The Bill Foster Goliath action figure that I previewed a few weeks ago. There seems to be quite a few people that across all demographics that are bothered by that particular action figure. One, it's not comic book accurate. It's not. So it's based on the What If series. Well, the problem is it doesn't come on an unmasked head sculpt. There are people that don't look like me that know what Bill Foster looked like. The question is, What does Bill Foster look like up under that blue visor? Because you can't tell. You can't tell whether he's a brother or whether he's somebody else. And that's bothering some people. That's bothering some people that don't look like me. Representation. People want representation. And it's not, people want to see superheroes that look like what it looks like outside their window, the people that they interact with. So it ain't just me bothered by how some of these characters are being represented. No, it's people that don't look like me being bothered by how characters that don't look like them being represented. But the Giant Man action figure, 24 inches, HasLab project, $199. It comes with 4 different head sculpts to be perfect, or face plates. I'm gonna say face plates, not including the one that he comes with already. So you're going to get a grimacing face plate. You're going to get a smiling face plate. You're going to get the heroic face plate. And for those of y'all What If fans or zombie fans, you're going to get a zombie face plate and a Skrull face plate as well. So that'd be a nice pair. We get a lot of Skrulls out here right now. So what do we got? We got the Skrull Queen, the Spider-Woman Super Skrull 2-pack. You got that, right? Cool, cool. And now you have this giant Skrull that you can interact with it. So $199. The face plates are all it comes with. The question then becomes $200. HasLab project. Is it worth paying for? If you want Giant Man, you will get the HasLab project. So that's what that is. But moving right along, because I don't want to stay too long on that and everything like that. Like I said, we got a great show. Marvel is talking about after. Make sure I got this up. Marvel is talking about after Secret Wars, not Secret Wars. That's not what that is. Marvel Cinematic Universe might get a major reboot, and the major reboot might come after their Secret Wars, not Secret Invasion, Secret Wars. A lot of people, and justifiably so, I think I've talked about what I know I've talked about this on this channel before in regards to Marvel needing to bring some characters back. Seems like I'm not the only one that's of that mindset. Seems like Recast T'Challa is not the only fan base that's of that mindset. No, it actually appears that quite a few fans are of that mindset. This comes from Screen Geek. I'm just reporting the news. Marvel Cinematic Universe might get a major reboot. It looks like the Marvel Cinematic Universe could receive a major reboot after the release of MCU's Avengers Secret Wars. And we know that movie is having problems in regards to writers being let go. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is headed towards the highly anticipated crossover event, Avengers Secret Wars. The new film will act as a conclusion to both Phase 6 of the MCU and the ongoing multiverse saga. Can I ask a question? I'm just gonna ask a question. I think it's a fair question, especially when you look at this current state of superhero movies. Is it fair to say that over the past 2 years, we keep hearing from the media? Am I part of the media? Am I part of the media now? We keep hearing from the media about how Marvel is pinning their hopes on the next movie. The next movie is supposed to bring them out. Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man No Way Home, Black Panther 2, Ant-Man Quantumania. Now it's the Marvels. I got a question for you. We know the movies haven't been good, and I'm not, whether you like superhero movies or you don't like superhero movies, the money is what the money is. As people say, numbers never lie. I like to say, no, it's not that they don't lie. They don't always tell the whole story. They don't. But superhero movies aren't performing well. My question is this, because everybody, I want to say for like the past few months, especially considering how bad each superhero movie gets, like they get progressively worse, even though people enjoy them. My question is this: what happens? Because what we're saying is Marvel needs to reboot, right? Okay, Marvel needs to reboot after Secret Wars. What happens? This is a fair question. What happens with Marvel pinning all of their hopes? We know Infinity War, Endgame, great movies. Great movies. They had some issues here and there, but they were overall great movies. What happens if, with everything that Marvel is putting on the table in regards to Avengers Secret Wars, and we know they're having issues with that film, what happens if Avengers Secret Wars is hot garbage? I think that's a fair question. I see we got two people in here this morning. Like I said, we're going to get you right on up to kickoff time. My question is, what happens if Avengers Secret Wars is hot garbage? I'm not saying it would be hot garbage and they making it hot garbage. Let's say it's not received well by the fans. Would the MCU be dead? Austin Crafton, honestly, Theo, I think Marvel is in bad place. There's no cornerstone characters. Well, Hulk, Black Panther, Captain America, Iron Man, etc. I agree. And we comic book fans, so we know what that means. The cornerstone, we're all comic book fans, so I agree wholeheartedly. My question is, if Marvel is, let's say they're putting their eggs in that basket, Avengers Endgame, like, let's say we running a relay race, and the first three legs of the race ain't been doing that well, and you thinking that fourth leg is going to bring you home, going to make up distance, going to get you the championship, and suppose that fourth leg, i.e. Avengers Secret Wars, sucks, the fans don't like it, would that be the end of the MCU, period, point blank period? Like, would that be the end of the superhero genre? For the time being, we know they're going to redo it at some point in time. But could you see them moving forward with the reboot of the universe if that movie doesn't do well? I think that's a fair question. I definitely am in agreement. The cornerstone characters are missing. I understand the vision that Kevin Feige may have had in regards to wanting to treat these characters like they're real. They're not. And that's the beautiful thing about it. These are fictional characters that we get to enjoy for basically our lifetime. We don't treat these characters like real people. Bruce Wayne been the same damn age since I was a kid, by and large. You trying to make these characters relatable? Yes, I could, because there's too much money on the table. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. There is too much money on the table. No, that's a fair statement. That's a true statement. It's fair and it's true. Money rule the world. Money make the world go round. Would there be some changes? Like, if Avengers Secret Wars doesn't do well, money is on the table, money got to be made, long as Disney got those IPs over there, you would be a fool, which is to a degree what they've been. You would be a fool not to take advantage, because that's literally money. That's made money right there. All those IPs. Would there be major changes in Disney, Marvel, the MCU, Marvel Studios? Could you see major changes? And with nobody being safe, if that movie does not do well. Personally, I think from a business standpoint, changes should have been made, and they should have been, what they've been doing is, well, we just gonna change the icing. They're not changing the ingredients. They still doing the same damn thing. So my question, because I'm like, damn, You only a fool keeps doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if that movie doesn't do well, and you're absolutely right, that's way too much money over there. It's way too much money. Easy money, to be perfectly honest with you. If I own one of them IPs, if I own one of them, the amount of money that could be made, and they own all of them, I don't know how you don't make money and you own the Batman franchise. That should be literally impossible. I don't know how you don't do well if you own the Spider-Man franchise. And yes, we can go back and forth between Sony and Marvel, Disney, and everything like that. But you got, honestly, Theo, I think Kevin Feige has to go. He's hit his peak. And that's not me being sarcastic. That's me. These are the Rock With Me Nation moderators in the building. He got his cup of coffee too. Listen, it's Saturday. This is how we do it. Yeah. And just from a bit, Batman Beyond is $1 billion movie. Easy. Like, I don't know. Here's the sad part. There's, like, I take it personal. There's no way in the world we watch the animation division section of DC get it right, but the live action can't get it right. There's no way. It's a storyboard. Both projects involve a storyboard. Both of them. Whether you're doing the animation or whether you're doing a live action, you got to have a storyboard. Okay, well, you know what y'all need to start doing? Warner Brothers, y'all need to start having the people that's writing up the live action, the animated storyboards. You need to bring them over here, because whoever doing this, I don't know what this is over here. And no comic book fan does it. Quite a few people have been complaining about the slate. My brother D Real talked about it the other day. Nobody's asking for an Echo show. I get it. I understand it. I do. I get it. But if you want to do a handicapped superhero, Matt Murdock is blind. That was the handicapped superhero. If you're looking for a superhero that's supposed to, how can I put it? That's supposed to represent the handicap, that was Matthew Murdock. That was our guy back in walking cane, glasses. That's what that was. That and low key, that's the character that people still care about, the handicapped character. That's him. It's Matthew Murdock. It's not Echo. I get it. I understand. Nobody cares about Echo. Marvel animation was good pre-Disney. This is true. This is true. Nope. You know what? You know why I don't mention Marvel, D. Steezel, and I'm wrong for doing it? It's because when I look at Marvel, I only think about Avengers, Earth, Mightiest Heroes. I know I should be thinking about X-Men, the animated series. I know, I get it. I don't. Not that it was bad. I knew what it was coming from. It was coming from the comics. And to me, John Byrne, Chris Claremont, them cats over there and everything like that, the animated series really wasn't touching that. It tried, but that's just me. But when I look at the state of the movies, there's no way you're getting that wrong. You shouldn't be able to, you shouldn't get it wrong. You shouldn't have got Secret Invasion wrong. There's a premise. You own the superhero IPs, Disney, Marvel. You got that. You got the source material, Secret Invasion. You got that. You're trying to set up your next big thing. You are, not me. I'm here. Great job with the Infinity Stone, the Infinity Saga. Yes. Now, maybe the people that were there with helping to tell that story, hey, Russo brothers, maybe they aren't there anymore. But maybe you need to go get them back. I think it started for me with Eternals, Ant-Man 2 and 3, Hawkeye series, Thor, Love and Thunder, and it's been L after L. You know what, Austin? Damn, you sure we're not related? I was lost with Eternals too. That was a bad decision. It was a bad decision. Now, I can feel how I want to feel about the individual that made that decision. What I will say is this. That was Nate Moore. He greenlit it, which means he said this is a good idea. Then he fast-tracked it. That means he pushed that movie to the forefront, past some other movies that probably were better than the Eternals. I'm safe to say absolutely better than the Eternals. And he did it for the sake of diversity. So much so to the point, well, we know what he did with Fastos. Matter of fact, let's not focus in on Fastos. I could do that easily. But he flipped that whole damn team for no reason. And now he says he's a comic book fan. He flipped that whole damn he says he's a comic book fan. Well, if he was a comic book fan, the diversification, myself, Mr. Smith, and I have alluded to it, that was Alpha Flight. That's what that was. It was Alpha Flight. It was not the Eternals. If you're talking about a team that's truly diversified in Marvel Comics, every comic book fan knows it was Alpha Flight. You use Wanda, you use Pietro. So I'm not trying to hear no excuses why you couldn't use any of them characters. Not trying to hear that. You ain't have to bring Wolverine, Logan over there and everything like that. But what it could have set up, it could have set up Logan's appearance in the MCU at a later date. You never used it. But you're a comic book fan. Well, I don't know one comic book fan that prefers the Eternals over Alpha Flight. I'm gonna wait. Y'all let me know. Matter of fact, watch this. I'm of the mindset, comic book fans, because of what happened in Justice League, the cartoon, what took place in Superman, I'm of the mindset that comic book fans and casual fans know more about the New Gods than the Eternals. So, and I wouldn't make no movie about the New Gods. When did we see the New Gods? We saw them show up in a Justice League movie. Yes, listen. Let me tell you something, and I don't just be saying it. People be like, Theo, man, you act like that. When y'all hear me talk about Alpha Flight, and y'all hear me talk about North Star, just understand John Byrne was my end to the X-Men. So when John Byrne created Alpha Flight, I was all in. I was like, oh, damn. When I read those comics, I was like, wow. Now, let's think about this for a second. I'm in a small town in Camilla, Georgia. Southwest Georgia. Early 80s. It ain't too far from the 60s. It's not. Mindsets, prejudices, biases, and everything like that. But I'm coming from New York, Bronx, New York. Well, diversity is everything. So we don't really get caught up in stuff like that. I loved Alpha Flight. I loved Alpha Flight. That's why y'all hear me talking about it. I loved everything about that. I'm 5'8", 5'8 and a half. Well, hell, I'm just short. That was Pup. That was Pup. Oh my God, I'm from Albany, Georgia. Yeah, man, I graduated from Mitchell Becker High School in '86. Yep, damn sure did. Damn sure did. Listen, coming from the Bronx, you know, that was a culture shock for me and everything like that. But I got to play high school football. I absolutely love football, as you can see, superheroes at SEC Saturdays and everything like that. James Jackson was my first quarterback, the first black quarterback to Georgia, start for the University of Georgia. So yeah, man, that's me, man. But so you know what it was like, man. So it's like when you read Alpha Flight was a breath of fresh air living in Georgia, Camilla, Georgia. Listen, I never put down Alpha Flight. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Whether they showed up in Hulk and everything like that, Immortal Hulk and everything, Alpha Flight, diversification. What do we have when you want to talk about diversity being done right? You had the X-Men. Okay, well, I wasn't. I wasn't on the X-Men. I don't know why. For the longest time, I felt like the mutant gene was avoiding me. I said, damn, I can't be a mutant either. Well, Fantastic Four. No. Cosmic Rays weren't looking for me either. Avengers? Nope. I wasn't on the Avengers. I wasn't. Look what little person representation with Punk. Yeah. That's how I felt like, okay, I ain't got to be tall to be a superhero because Dick was 5'10". I was not 5'10". Okay. Well, what did I get in Alpha Flight? I got twins. Brother, sister. Just like T'Challa and Shorty. Just brother and sister. Okay, well, I got Aurora. Okay, well, she got issues. She touched, right? Even though she's a teacher, she touched. Her brother, world-class Olympic gold medalist skier. Yeah, he gay, but you don't want to try him. You don't want no problems. And that was refreshing in and of itself, because how were we seeing men? This is why I be talking about members of the LGBTQ. You need to check how they did Fastos. You need to check why they're giving you Bobby Drake. You need to check why they're giving you Tim Drake. You might want to ask some questions why they won't give you Jean Paul Barbier. Because Jean put hands on people. Jean ain't play the radio. This dude he wasn't swole. He was trying to run the fade on Sasquatch. Like, bro, you gonna stop trying my sister, dog. I don't know you like that. That was a breath of fresh air because it broke the stereotype. Here was a dude he was an overprotected brother. That killed all the stereotypes right there. Like, oh, no, sensitive? No, don't just cause he like men, don't make him soft. don't. It was a breath of fresh air. Then we got Walter Lankowski. This dude played college football, but he's a scientist. You know, the very next time I heard college football player and scientist in the same breath, in the same sentence, Kevin Graveau. I'm not making that up. Scientist. I ain't say doctor. Much respect to the brother from Florida State who went to go be a brain surgeon. But scientist, that's Kevin Graveau. That's the only other time I heard. I was a huge Alpha Flight fan. I really like Puck and Shawn Man's daughter, Talisman. Listen, it is y'all know I collect action figures. Y'all know I love them. The Alpha Flight box set is like $150. That's my holy grail. That's my holy grail. Shout out to my brother, Aaron the Big Word Brinkley. When we started collecting action figures and everything like that, I was focused on Wakanda. He was like, Theo, man, we got to represent everybody. And when he was talking about everybody, he was talking about people of color. So I made it my point then to go get damn near every minority action figure based on the build. I wanted to make sure I had a certain aesthetic visually that I could find. So Brazilian, African-American, African, Asian, Latino, Samoan, it don't matter. If the action figure falls in that category, I really want to tell you, by and large, I got it. This is not because I want people to walk in the house and feel good. Like I really want. I don't just talk about that type of representation. Like I am serious about it. I'm serious about it. So yeah, in regards to that Alpha Flight, they got that wrong. So this is what you're looking at. So to your point, Austin, changes need to be made at the top. You're an investor. If you're a Disney investor, Marvel investor, it's almost of the mindset that I want to ask, who in the room is a comic book fan? Because if it's not Kevin Feige, it's not Bob Iger, it's not any of the executives up under Kevin Feige, it's not anybody on the board of directors. Like I don't have their money, and there's no way in the world for 2 years running I could be putting out bad product after bad product and somebody ain't lost their job. There's no way. And all we know is Victoria Alonso lost her job, and quite a few other people. Well, you still been taking L's after she was gone. So that problem ain't just with her. That the problem didn't stop when she walked out the door. There can't be a comic book fan in the room, because I don't know any comic book fan that would look at the slate of movies that Kevin Feige has, slate of movies, Disney Plus shows that he plans on releasing. I don't know any comic book fan that would look at that and be like, yeah, that's a good lineup. We wouldn't. Comic book fans, we would sit up there and say, oh, I got the mutants back. Okay, I need something with the mutants. And there's a whole library of stories that you could either put directly on Disney Plus or that you could put on the big screen. A whole plethora of stories. Okay, hold on. Daredevil did good on Netflix, right? Let me continue. Let me do season 3 of Daredevil, or season 4. You ain't got to recook the grit. You ain't got to overcook the grits with Daredevil. Bring back that creative team. Everybody like them. Bring back everybody and just continue the story. No, you want to reinvent the wheel. Okay. Oh, I don't know. You don't reinvent the wheel. Captain America. Okay, I get it. Had to tell that story. Old Man Steve. You know, there's an Old Man Steve story that you can tell that people would actually, Old Man Rogers, that people would actually be interested in, and you won't tell it. You think somebody want an Echo story. No, they do not. The story right there. And watch this. You want to put the shield, you want to make Sam Wilson Captain America? Nobody accepts Sam Wilson as Captain America. Not even the people that are supposed to be Sam Wilson. We don't accept that. This is why you got an issue with the movie. But if you were a comic book fan, you would know, just if Sam gonna keep the shield, Sam only keeping that shield for a couple of shows on Disney Plus. Then we're gonna give it to Bucky for a couple of shows on Disney Plus. You know why we were doing that? We would be giving the shield to Bucky and Sam temporarily while Steve is old, until Steve get young again. Then we take that shield right back and give it right back to Steve. That's the storyline. I don't know what you got going on over here. Don't nobody want to see Sam Wilson, but you're a comic book fan. There can't be a comic book fan that's there. It can't be. We all comic book fans. How much money could you make? How much money could you make how much money could you make for Disney right now with them characters? What, as a matter of fact, let's talk about it. Give me a movie idea with the library that Disney currently owns in regards to Marvel that you would pay money to go see. A movie involving the superheroes or a superhero team that Disney currently owns, money on the table that you would go see. I want to make sure I keep up with these notes. Oh, by the way, just to let y'all know, Blade's daughter has officially been named. She is now going by the name of Bloodline. This was just revealed in Blade 2. Blade 2 came out, not the movie. Now, I know somebody gonna ask that question. Blade 2 came out on Wednesday. Myself and Marcus did a review of Blade 2 on Wednesday. And if I'm understanding correctly here, that young lady has given herself, her father. Man, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Like I said, we're going to take this thing all the way up until noontime. Make sure you got your coffee. If you're going to go get your hair cut, we're going to make sure you get out of here to go get your hair cut. I got to go get mine cut. So, can't be showing up in front of the camera looking like this all the time. Hold on, let me make sure I get this right. But yes, Blade's daughter has a name. Her name is Bloodline. She has an official name. It was dropped in Blade 2, Bloodline. And let them tell it. I don't know how true this is, and I don't believe it to be true. I don't. Because I don't even know why this is, because we seen Wicked, we seen Speed. Supposedly we're supposed to have a Young Avengers movie on the horizon, right? Supposed to have a Young Avengers movie on the horizon? Cool, watch this. So this comes from Screen Rant. Blade confirms his daughter's superhero name and her future Avenger status. And this is a good book, by the way. If you're not reading Blade, Marcus alluded to it last night. It reads like the movie. And when I'm saying the movie, like Blades 1, 2, and 3, yeah, he act like that. He acting like that dude. He's got more of a Wesley Snipes personality in regards to how he get down. And it's action driven. It's action driven. So Blade's daughter recently got the training and costume befitting the hero, and now she has a name that perfectly suits an Avenger in the making. Make sure we get this. You know, I hate it when the cell phones lock up and everything like that. I hate when they do that. But yeah, the superhero name for Blade's daughter has officially been confirmed, paving the way for her potential future with the Avengers. But first, Blade has it. He does. He has his hands full. He does. Blade has his hands full as he deals with his latest enemy, the Adana. Got to check it out. It's gonna be kind of difficult to explain. Check out the it's up on Back of the Bus podcast. Y'all check that out. With such a threat on his hands, he's in desperate need of firepower in Blade 2 by Brian Hill, Elena Casagrande. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Roberto Poggi, Jordi Belair, and Joe Sabino. To get what he needs, Blade contacts his weapons dealer, Tula. She's more than just a weapons dealer. Like that. Tula, that's not Whistler. Her and Blade. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. While catching up, Tula mentioned she last heard Blade was running around with his daughter. We didn't think Blade's daughter was going to be brought up in this book. We thought this was going to be a comic book series that focused solely on Blade, uplifting him, putting him in that spotlight. Not too many fans, from what I heard, cared particularly for Blade's daughter. Evidently, Marvel does. Marvel Comics does have plans for his daughter, alluding to their adventures in the Bloodline, Daughter of Blade miniseries. So her official name is Bloodline. That's going to be her comic book name, her superhero name. When name dropping the daughter, he confirms for the first time in dialogue that her superhero name will be, in fact, Bloodline. Bloodline Daughter of Blade introduces the Daywalker's teenage daughter, Bria. Bria has lived a normal life with her mother, Saffron, thanks in large part to a spell Blade has Doctor Strange conduct before he leaves to travel the world as an Avenger. The spell preventing any supernatural forces from finding or hurting Saffron and Brie, but the protection spell is broken. And it's open season of the mother-daughter duo's lives. As a bloodline, Daughter of Blade issue 3 by Danny Lore, Karen S. Dorbeau, Chris Peter, and Joe Sabino, Blade returns to meet and train his daughter as well as help her hone her half-vampire powers that are starting to manifest. She's supposed to be a young Avenger. Whenever that movie come out, whenever that comic come out, you'll say, no. One, I don't know who's looking for a young Avenger movie. I would put that on Disney streaming, Disney Plus. That's where I would put that at, because no one's acquainted with these superheroes. They're talking about a white tiger suit. Shit. Hold on. What comic book fan is asking for a white tiger series? You got the Punisher. You got Luke Cage. You got Power Man and Iron Fist, because you got two females right there. Right there. Punisher, Daredevil. You got Electra Narcos, whatever right there. And if you do those stories right, and you're a comic book fan, you can introduce Daredevil, Punisher, Power Man, Iron Fist. You're a comic book fan and you want to get to the Latino market. I get it. I understand it. I'm with you. You got they underrepresented. You want to get Hector Ayala. Hector, because see, the Latino men ain't represented. They not. My Latino brothers, my Latino men, they not represented. Hector Ayala. You know what Hector Ayala gets you to do? Hector Ayala gets you to bring in the Latino women. Know why? You get a Latino dude over there, take his shirt off and everything, got the six-pack ass, give him a rugged beard and everything like that. Hector Ayala, bringing his sister and his niece. You did that. You tried that with Blue Beetle. You just didn't have a tie-in with Blue Beetle. You did a piss poor job with Ted Cord. No, Luke Cage, Danny Rand, Hector Ayala. I can easily do a story where them two, this dude, Jade Amulet, find it. It worked for him. He become the Jade. He become the White Tiger. Daredevil. Well, comic book fans, we know what happened to Hector Ayala and Daredevil, don't we? How you finna do White Tiger and you ain't told Hector's story yet? And every comic book fan is gonna sit up there like, so you didn't want to put this in Daredevil? You didn't want to start this off in Daredevil? Because how she get the Jade Amulet? I get it. You want the females. I get it. It's nothing. Men spend money too. I do. We do. We spend money too. And we like to see ourselves doing something. We like to be the powerful people. Because if I looked at the power chart right now, Thor got to be down here somewhere. Thor and Hulk got to be down here somewhere. Because damn near 1 through 5 I don't share the same chromosome with 1 through 5. I'm not mad at that, but I can't get at least one of me in there. Because every female superhero that come out now is more powerful than the last superhero that came out. What? Anyway, listen, we got games today, though. We got games today. We got Texas and Alabama. Texas and Alabama. And Forrest Gump is not suiting up today, so I don't know what the Crimson Tide is going to do as far as their rushing attack. Texas and Alabama. Where will you be? What I say, superheroes and SEC Saturday. We're going to listen. We shifting gear. Where are you going to be at when that game? Do you even know when the game kick off? Let's talk about that. Do you even know when the game kick off? Texas and Alabama, 7 o'clock tonight, ESPN. Ooh, Texas and question. Because they go, because Alabama been dominant for quite some time now and everything like that. They have. I'm not gonna act like that. But the crowd noise. Do we really? Do any of us have any memories of the Alabama crowd going wild to support their team? Because normally they just roll in. Teams come in. Alabama run through them. Everybody go home. Have a good evening. But this time around, number 11 Texas is coming to number 3 Alabama. And Alabama is only a 7-point favorite. They are only a 7-point favorite. Now, one of the things that I want to do, I said because it's superheroes and SEC Saturday, right? Who needs to put their cape on? Who needs to be the superhero of this game for either team? For their team to get the W. I didn't do it last week. I didn't do it because I didn't think about it last week. I didn't think about it because it was like, this is a brand new show, Superheroes and SEC Saturday. I was like, if I had to think about somebody that would have been the superhero for the SEC last week, it would have been Alabama's quarterback. That said, I got questions. Everybody has questions. We're not supposed to put too much into week one. Week one is what it was. It was just week one. That's not an indictment. I had somebody say last night, Marcus, that the Pac-10, not the Pac-10, the Big Ten, the side over there with Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. Marcus made the statement that the second-tier teams could compete in the SEC West. I was like, the SEC West? The SEC West. Now, I like Michigan. I like Ohio State. I do. But when we say, because he said Maryland, and I was like, Maryland? Maryland left the ACC where they was getting beat up just to go to another conference where they getting beat up. Maryland. In essence, let's not be confused about what happened to LSU with Florida State on Monday. Florida State has trees on each side. And I don't care how high you jump. If you 5 foot something and you going up against somebody that's 6 foot something and the quarterback throw a jump ball, a 50-50 ball, hey man, it is what it is. And if we know nothing else coming out of Tallahassee, FSU got trees on both sides. So don't get caught up because LSU didn't look. Just because LSU didn't look good against FSU don't mean they're not going to look good against anybody else for the rest of the season. That's what I'm saying. That said, Alabama, I got questions. Because last week, the quarterback had a good game. Like I said, to me, for mine, in regards to how he played, he would have been my SEC superhero. But there were some things that I looked at. They played Middle Tennessee State, right? Cool. It is what it is. That team it's Middle Tennessee. Here was my question, though, and I had some. Milroe was 13 for 18 for 194 yards. 2 TDs. He got sacked twice. Rushing, he had 48 yards. Now, I'm going to tell you where I'm at with it. My question is this. When I look at Alabama, last week they had 226 yards and 205 yards rushing. Against Middle Tennessee. My question is if you can't run the football, and this is where we're looking at, because we know Alabama is going to lean heavily with their defense this year. They're going to get back to playing that. Don't know if the secondary is back to being where it needs to be, but they're going to lean heavily on their defense this year. They're going to play more complementary style football. They're not going to lean that heavily on their passing attack. This ain't what we was doing back in the day or what we've gotten used to with Alabama. So my question now becomes this. Because we haven't seen Alabama do this in a minute. We're familiar with Georgia doing it, but we haven't seen Alabama do this in a minute. Lean on people with the running game. Yes, we remember when they did it, but we haven't seen Alabama do that in a minute. So my question now becomes, if you can't run the football, and this will be the first test. This will be the first test today. So actually, I like Alabama -7. If you can't run the football, will you be able to throw it enough to get the W? We're going to find out today because they damn sure playing Texas. And Texas got an axe to grind. Alabama -7 at the house. It's 7 o'clock. I don't necessarily know about Alabama's crowd, the home field advantage. I don't necessarily know about that because of the fact that we're not used to seeing Alabama come in and do what Ohio State's crowd would do, what the Swamp would do. Heck, what Tennessee did last year when Alabama went to go play them. We're not used to that. We're going to find out tonight, Alabama -7. Texas, Alabama -7. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and take that, Alabama -7. I like that. What do we have to lose? I mean, well, it's not my team, but yes, Alabama at home, Alabama -7. That means the odd makers in Vegas don't feel like there's much separation between these two teams because, honestly, that point spread is what you more than likely get because you at home. So Vegas don't like Alabama that much either. They like them a little bit, but they don't like them a lot. So Alabama -7, absolutely. Let's keep the party rolling. I like it. I like to say keep the party rolling. Let me keep up with these notes if y'all in here. I see we got 7 people in here and everything like that. So we're going to keep the party rolling. We did say Blade confirms his daughter. We did say that. We did talk about the giant man HasLab. We did talk about that. You know what? Anybody read Black Panther issue 4? I can't even believe I ain't started to show off with this, but it is Saturday. So Giant Man HasLab football, so we can get here because the comic book came out on Wednesday. Anybody read Black Panther issue 4? Or hear about Black Panther issue 4? Or care about Black Panther issue 4? So, Marcus and I touched on this last night. When I did the comic book review, because I did not know what the word meant, hey, when you come up with a word and it's a word that you made up, you write in the comic book, the little yellow box down on the side, put an asterisk in it, say translation, and put what that word means. So I do the comic book review on Wednesday, Black Panther issue 4. I liked it. I did. I do. Come to find out, shortly after the comic book, that I'm not going to call her a female antagonist. I will say the new female character, Besa, Natima is her first name. She's transgender. Transgender. People like, Theo, what? Yeah, transgender. So, and that social media, the way people perceived her introduction into the comic book, possible love interest for T'Challa, Catwoman-ish type of character. He threw a nice little curveball and all that. Besa is transgender. Okay, cool. If you're a Black Panther fan, you've been reading Black Panther comic books, you are familiar with members of the LGBTQ. So that did not move you one way or the other. So, had a lot of comments and questions and everything like that. I was like, I did not see it coming, because in issue 3, all of the pictures on the wall, and I talked about this with Marcus last night, they're all pictures of females. As a matter of fact, if I go here, this is what we have to do, because we don't want to make a mess. We don't want to knock any figures over. Shout out to Karama Horn. We are still, books falling already. Shout out to Karama Horn. We're still reading Protectors of Wakanda. So you see, issue 4, right? Issue 3. Now I'm going to open this puppy open because my memory being what it is, I like to go back and refresh my memory. I might have been saying something wrong, seeing something wrong. We don't always remember stuff exactly the way it happens. So I'm gonna go back because I talked to Marcus about this. So Natima in this book, because there's a passageway in here and everything like this. Now T'Challa does see her in her robe and everything like that. There is a part in here where we go back down memory lane with Natima. It's this picture right here. Now, as a reader, I'm led to believe that this is Natima's family. So I got a husband, I got a wife, and I got 2 daughters. So a brother never would have, her being a male would have never came to my mind. But then as I said to Marcus, I said this to him. I said, Marcus, because her father did, she said on behalf of her father, he wasn't concerned about the fact that she female. That wasn't what bothered him. The fact that she didn't want to be in the military, that she had an issue with violence, which is crazy because she's an anti-hero right now. That's what bothered him. So I said to Marcus, Marcus, maybe we're not looking at this right. He said, what do you mean? Shout out to Chillmonger. He alluded to last night, jumped in on the live and everything like that. Eve Ewing has made a character in Ironheart transgender. And I said, Marcus, maybe we're looking at this thing wrong. He said, what you mean? I say, she can be transgender. I said, but who says her transition had to take place after she became an adolescent? I said, yeah. I said, we live in America. I say we watch basketball. Dwayne Wade's daughter, she transitioned early. Well, Dwayne Wade, and if I can't believe it, if I'm right about this one, you just got to clap it up one time. You got to give it up for your boy for just being observant. Who's to say Natima's father wasn't like Dwayne Wade? Hey, I understand what's going on. Hey, you got to do what you got to do, but you still need to fight. It would be no different than Dwayne Wade looking at his daughter like, yeah, I understand. I'm with you. You still gonna play basketball though, and I'm still expecting you to dunk. Yeah. So because she left home early, she left home as a kid, and when she was leaving home, that wasn't her leaving as who she was beforehand. No. So I'm of the mindset that she transitioned early. It's Wakanda, and they don't have those westernized beliefs in regards to sexual orientation. It's never been written that way. They don't have those hangups and everything like that. So it's very well possible the team will transition early. We do see that. Now watch this. For those who might not have been reading, as Marcus alluded to, she's very much interested in a female. Trying to find her. Don't know where she at. She's longing for her. If we're reading that, she's longing for her. So interesting development. Still would like to know more about what drove her from home. Would still like to know that. Would like to know more about the young lady that she's trying to locate, why she's trying to locate her and things of that nature. But the reveal that she's a transgender. Aside from the people that are going to have their issues with members of the LGBT, which I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how you read this comic book and have issues with members, but somebody touched on it. Society. It's not that we necessarily have issues with women being members of the LGBTQ community. Men is what we kind of have an issue with. And so if that's where you're at with it, because I'm like this. Nahanda gay, lesbian, 10,000 years, Yale, Iron Fist. So that go back. That go back. You say you like the Dora Milaje? Okay, members of the LGBTQ are in the Dora Milaje. Here we go. You ready? Even though it's never been written, no different than we have gay men in the military that will put a bullet in you quicker than a little bit. Even though we have gay men that play sports, some of us would think that there's never been a gay member of the Hatut Zadaze. You would be wrong. You would be wrong. There have been gay members of the, watch this, Taku was gay. Is. I said was. Is. Okay. That was T'Challa senior advisor, right? Okay, cool. So it is what it is at the end of the day. So notice how I talked about her being transgender. I really didn't get, because it's really a non-issue for me. The story is about T'Challa. She did a great job in issue 4 of keeping the story on T'Challa. She did want to let us know that Besa is transgender. If I had an issue with the issue, it was the way in which there's no way T'Challa didn't know that she was transgender. His abilities, his power set, there's no way he didn't pick up on the difference. He'd been around. He didn't know. There's no way he did not notice. I get it. We got to write it a certain way to introduce the reader to the character, Besa. But me being a Black Panther fan, I believe he would have known it already. Still would not have gave two dams, because that ain't how he get down. But I do believe he would have and should have already known. What else are we looking at right now? Dadgum. We don't get into these shows like they're like 59 minutes and 47 seconds. I guess it's time to switch things up and go back to the SEC. Who else do we got? Miami and Texas A&M. Do we believe in Jimbo Fisher? Do we believe in the Texas A&M Aggies? Their game kicks off at 3:30. Going to Miami. Do you believe in Miami? And they got Texas A&M -3. Who on the hot seat? Can anybody take a loss today? Like, you want to talk about Separation Saturday? Separation Saturday, the second week or third week, depending on how you look at it, of college football. Mario Cristobal, Jimbo Fisher. I wouldn't want to be here. I wouldn't want to be here. I wouldn't want to be here. Jimbo Fisher, he can't take an L. He can't. Not after what happened last season. Not after the recruiting classes he's been having. He cannot take an L today. But then we got the Miami Hurricanes. And as Josh Pate alluded to, I've said this, if you heard me talk about college football, I'm a huge Georgia Bulldog fan. I am. But there is something to be said when the state of college football in the state of Florida ain't well. College football ain't right. You need certain teams to, I believe, to be where they need to be at. And when I say need to be at, successful. For college football as a whole to be successful. USC, UCLA, Notre Dame, Oklahoma. Watch this. And I know some they play today. They play today, and I think they got a noon kickoff today too. Nebraska. Yep, it was something to be said back in the day when Nebraska was on top. It was. You had to go play. Yeah, Miami. Y'all remember them days? Them boys got a 30 for 30 special and everything like that. Y'all know what y'all know what that was. You go play. Okay, Florida. Chris Lee. Before Tim Tebow. Steve Spurrier. Yeah, him. Go play. Go play some football. Yep. Bobby Bowden. Florida State Seminole. Go play. You gotta go play some football. Yeah. Texas. Back in the day. Back in the day when they used to have the Red River Shootout or whatever, them in Oklahoma, you got to play some football. You got to play some football. Well, what wind up happening? Soon as Miami joined the ACC, 4 teams in Florida fell the hell off. All they had was Florida. And now you got, I don't know how many Division I schools, FBS schools, in the state, FCS schools. Pick one. Damn it. But you got all these schools in the state of Florida. Florida State is coming back. Well, Mario Cristobal, he went down to Miami, came from Oregon, said he had a game plan. It's going to take time. Said it's going to take time. You got to give me some time. Much like Mike Norville up in Florida State, Tallahassee. You got to give me some time. Okay. Today, that day. Rubber meet the road. Especially considering the fact Miami didn't look that good last year. But they understood why they didn't look that good. Now, the casual fan didn't understand why they didn't look that good. But they understood why they didn't look that good. I'm not sure anybody's going to understand why they don't look that good today. Theo, who do you like? I am in Florida. I am. Been in Florida since 94. I am. I don't have any disdain for the Miami Hurricanes. I don't. If I have any disdain for any team, even though I respect them, it's the Florida Gators. I don't like them. Can't be a Georgia Bulldog and like the Florida Gators at the same time. Don't work that way. Based on where I've been living at in the state of Florida for over 10 years, you would think that I would have an issue with the Hurricanes. What I can tell you is that I'm a huge Luke Skywalker fan. I am. I can also tell you that I don't care for the Dallas Cowboys at all. How you doing, Michael Irvin? So what does that have to do with Texas A&M versus Miami? I'm taking Miami plus the upset. What? Yeah, I'm going with Miami. I'm going with Miami. I'm going with Miami. I know Texas A&M is -3. I got it. I'm taking Miami to pull the upset. I'm looking at Mario Cristobal to continue to turn that thing around. I get it. I should be pulling for the SEC. Low key, I am. But I don't believe in Jimbo Fisher. That it is. I don't believe in Jimbo Fisher. This might be Jimbo's last year. Just because they won last week, that don't mean nothing. I don't believe in Texas. I don't believe in Jimbo Fisher. Vanderbilt versus Wake Forest. Get your money. What's the spread on this game? It don't matter. Go get your change. Go get your change. Go get your change. Last year, Wake Forest beat the brakes off them boys. That was at Vandy. This year, them boys got to go to the Demon Deacon's house. They don't even have a spread on the game. They know not to have a spread on the game because ain't nobody gonna cover that. They're not putting no spread on the game. That game kicks off at 1:30. It will be on the ACC network. Hey, see, ACC network, Vanderbilt going there. Don't get caught up on what Vanderbilt did with Hawaii last week, because if you looked at that game, or Vanderbilt, we just gonna say that Vanderbilt, they defense. It looked good against Alabama A&M. They only gave up 13 points, but they gave up 13 points to Alabama A&M. They gave up 13 points to Alabama A&M. They gave up 28 points to Hawaii. What we think Vanderbilt, what we think Wake Forest is going to do? I just need y'all to understand that. What you think Wake Forest is going to do? And damn, has the game kicked off already? The game that kicked off already. And y'all know how I told y'all, it's 11:07. I don't know how we doing this and everything. I don't know why this damn game kicked off already. But this game kicked off already. And we like to keep our promises here. We like to take you from 10 a.m. to kickoff. I had no idea the game was kicked off already. It is what it is. We're going to go right back to it. We say it's the SEC, so we're going to stay right here in the SEC. We don't want no more games to start on us and everything like that. But if you have not put money on Wake Forest, you should have. You should have put money on Wake Forest. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the rest of these games and everything like that. So we're going to make sure we do what we got going on. SEC. Here we go. So Florida's playing McNeese State, 7:30. There is no cover in that game and everything like that. Why? Because they playing McNeese State. Western Kentucky is taking on Kentucky. There is no cover. That game takes place at 3 o'clock. Vegas is not putting their eyes on that. You might like this game, though. You might like this game. Ole Miss takes on Tulane. That's right. I said it. Ole Miss takes on Tulane. And they traveling. They got Ole Miss -8. Ole Miss -8. That's Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss -8. That's Lane Kiffin. If I don't like anything else about Lane Kiffin, I like the fact that the dude know how to run offense. And it don't matter what it takes to win the game, whether that means running the football, and we believe him to be a pass-happy coach, or throwing the football. They got to travel to Tulane. I understand it. I get it. Both of them won their games, respective games last week. I get it. Game takes place today, 3:30 p.m. at ESPN2. I get it. I understand it. I understand why some people might be like, Theo, I don't necessarily know if I like those 8 points. What I can tell you is this. Tulane beat South Alabama 37-17. They got to play Ole Miss today. I like that point spread. I like the -8. So if you picking, you like gambling, you like doing something with your money, Vegas gave you -8. I think Ole Miss is going to, okay, when I say I think, it's not that I think Ole Miss is going to cover the 8. I know they're going to cover the 8. I just think it's going to be by like 14. So at the very least, I look for Ole Miss -12. That's me. That's me. You ain't got to listen to me. I like Lane Kiffin -12 against Tulane. I know Tulane. I know Lane Kiffin. They rank. They rank, right? They rank. They got to play for something, right? Right. You got to keep it respectable, right? Right. I look for them to make an example out of Tulane. I know, I get it, I understand. You ain't gotta listen to me. I'm just telling you what I believe. Arkansas minus 38.5 over Kent State. You know, 38.5 is a lot of points. It is. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. Essentially, you need to score 21 points per half. You do. That's 3 touchdowns each half. Do I think Arkansas can do it against Kent State? 21 points. It's not that I don't believe Arkansas can't put up that type of points. It's not. The question is, how do I feel about Arkansas's defense and Kent State's offense? See, that's the question. It ain't like I got an issue with Arkansas putting up points. The question is, do I believe they can stop Kent State's offense, i.e., cover that 21 points? I don't know. I got issues. I got questions. They beat Western Kentucky 56-13. That's not Kent State. And even with that, what is that, 43 points? So you play Western Kentucky, you score 56, you give up 13, right? Okay, with the math, good. I could be wrong. That's 43 points, right? Now, I believe Kent State is better than Western Kentucky. You see what I'm doing? That was 42 points. That was 42. 13. Western Kentucky scored 13. And Arkansas was at the house. Western Kentucky still managed to score 13 points. Okay, that's only 42 points. Okay, 32-48. That's a 4-point difference. So do I like Arkansas to beat Kent State? I do. Do I like them to cover the spread? No, I do not. No, I don't. I don't like them to cover the spread. I like them to win. I do. But 38.5, Kent, Arkansas. I don't like that. Your money, if you want to be like Disney and keep giving people your money, by all means, feel free to give people your money. It is what it is at the end of the day. Austin Peay visits Tennessee. Nobody's covering that. Don't do that. Missouri, Middle Tennessee State. I feel bad for Middle Tennessee State. I don't know who created their schedule, but whoever created their schedule, don't give two damns about them. I don't know what's going on because they played Alabama last week. Then you finna play Missouri this week. And then you're going to open up your conference schedule. Do you even have enough bodies left to open up your conference schedule after Alabama, after Missouri? This wrong. I don't know who created their schedule, but you don't do this. You don't do this. So as a Georgia Bulldog fan, we remember the fact that Missouri scared the hell out of us last year. Yeah, okay. Well, Missouri taking on Middle Tennessee State today, 7 p.m., -21. Take that. As Diddy would say, take that. Yeah, take that. I like that. Arizona travels to Mississippi State, -8.5. They coming all the way from the West Coast to play a 7:30 game. You know that's too early. I'm gonna say to play a 7:30 game. You know that's too early for them boys over there. You know them boys ain't. That's too early. The boys still asleep. Mississippi State -8.5. I like it. I like 8.5. Don't get greedy. I like 8.5. When we say it one time, I like 8.5. Them boys flying all the way over here. They not even supposed to be up right now. I like 8.5. 8.5. Don't get greedy with that one. Take Mississippi State -8.5. Don't get greedy. South Carolina takes on Furman at 7:30. Grambling State, school of Doug Williams. Shout out to Doug Williams. Anybody, y'all remember that Super Bowl when Doug Williams, the Washington football team, was taking on the Denver Broncos, led by John Elway? Y'all remember that Super Bowl? Y'all remember how Doug, Doug Williams broke stereotypes across the board. He wasn't fast. My dog had knees like Joe Namath, looking crickety rickety in the pocket and everything. But my dog did hit damn thing in that Super Bowl, didn't he? How did you feel seeing that brother do that thing in that damn Super Bowl? Just throw that ball all over the place like this. Anyway, his alma mater takes on LSU. That same LSU team that got that work from Florida State on Monday. Well, yes, they will correct the course today. Unfortunately, it will come at the expense of Grambling. That game takes place at 7:30 on the SEC network, 7:30 p.m. There's no spread on that one. We got Auburn. Because you know how I said earlier, we got Arizona coming to the SEC. Well, we got Auburn going out to the Pac-12. Now, this game might be more interesting in a little bit because it's Auburn minus 4.5 at Cal. $10:30. That's well past the SEC bedtime. I believe in equal energy. Y'all hear me talk all the time about equal energy, right? So if I say them boys gonna be playing football well before they supposed to get up, these cats gonna be playing football well past their bedtime. -3. No, -4.5. Auburn -4.5. Well, let's think about this thing for a second. Last time I saw an SEC team go out to the West Coast, and I saw. Notice what I said. I saw. It was Georgia. They went out there to go play. They won the Pac-12 team, though. They were playing Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield in the Rose Bowl. It wasn't no 10:30 game either. It wasn't no 10. So what do I think? -4.5. Auburn has a new offensive coordinator. They do. California has never been seen as a powerhouse over in the Pac-12. Not even when Aaron Rodgers was there. Nope, not even then. So how do I feel about the Cal Bears taking on the Auburn Tigers? The Auburn Tigers visiting the Cal Bears. It's a late game. If we don't know anything about the crowds, if we don't know anything else about Pac-12 football, the fans go crazy. Fans in California love football. They do. I picked one upset today already, right? I picked the upset. I picked Miami over Texas A&M. I want to make sure I do my due diligence because I know which way I'm leaning. I know which way I'm leaning. I just want to take a look at it before I say something I ain't got no business saying. I know which way I'm leaning. Ooh. I know which way I'm leaning. Y'all be like, Theo, I thought you was an SEC man. I am an SEC. I bleed SEC. I bleed SEC. I'm a fan. I'm not a fanatic. I'm an SEC fan. There's a difference. See, fans we just gonna call it straight down the middle. Fanatics, nah, they just gonna I'm not an SEC. I'm not that. I'm not that. So yeah, I'm looking at some stuff because I got questions. I know what I want to say. I just don't know if I'm gonna say it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. So y'all not gonna like this, and that's fine. I understand it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm accepted. I could very well be wrong in this one. Matter of fact, I'm prepared to be wrong in this one. I don't think I will be though. I don't think I will be. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at this. Go ahead and take a look at this. So y'all got it. I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm picking Cal for the upset. I know y'all like Theo. I don't like it. I don't like it. You know why? You know why I don't like it? First of all, they pass happy over there in the Pac-12. What I say? They pass happy. You know what? I mean, and they like to throw that thing all over the place. You know who I'm not? I don't believe in Auburn's defense. I don't. We just saw this last week. Did we see it last week? Colorado, TCU. You see how they threw that thing all over the place? That's what the Pac-12 known for. Just airing that damn thing out. You know what the SEC used to? They're not used to that. And it's only 2 schools that I know of in the SEC that's prepared to shut down the run and the pass. It ain't but 2 schools. It ain't but 2. It ain't but 2 schools in the SEC. And you need to know. I'm trying to make sure I can say this the best way. Them 2 schools that I'm talking about, they got one person in common. And that one person played safety when he was in college. That's Kirby Smart. You think DBs ain't locked in on shutting down the pass? That's what he did at Alabama. He left that there at Alabama. Well, it's now over there at Georgia. I don't believe in any other team in the SEC being able to consistently shut down the pass. And mind you, we saw what them 2 teams looked like when Tennessee got pass happy and when Ohio State got pass happy. And what did I say? I said I only believe in 2 teams in the SEC to be able to shut down the pass. That's Alabama and Georgia. Well, damn, Theo, what you saying? Ooh, I look for Auburn fans to be upset. I do. Now, does that mean the coach should be fired after this game? No. What do we say? Matchups. I don't like this one. With Theo, if that go good, if that matchup is good for Cal, why ain't that matchup good? Why is that matchup good for Arizona? I don't like Arizona like that. I don't. I know what Cal gonna do. Cal got a track record. They like to throw that thing. Arizona's still trying to get their identity, trying to establish who they are. We need to know that, hey, some coaching changes and everything like that. But Cal, it's almost like I don't know who. It's almost like it don't matter what coach is at Cal. They gonna air that thing out. It's like they got something to prove. Like we need to know, let people know this is where Aaron Rodgers went to school at. So we need to keep that legacy alive. Throw the football. So no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I look for Auburn to be upset. So let's go back and take a look at these games that I did my best to pick and everything like that. Georgia over Ball State. They got Georgia minus 42. Should you take Georgia minus 42? I wouldn't. Now, I know Kirby will have an axe to grind. I know Georgia will come out there and put their foot down. But we're talking about distance of points. So Georgia could put up 56 points, right? They could. Ball State could score 14. You lose your money. Pick Georgia to win. If you want to look at point totals, look at point totals. I do not believe Georgia is going to outpoint Ball State by 42 points. And I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. 30-something points. 40-something points, as in 40, not 42, 42. They say 42, 40, 35, 40, not 42. See, don't get greedy. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I'm telling you, 35 to 40. That's the safe range. Don't go for that 42. You put that, you're going to lose your money. 35 to 40 is the range. That's what they're going for today because Kirby got to get his offense back on track. Look for the defense to play more solid football. But don't go for that 42. You go for that 42, you're going to lose your money. Texas A&M. They visited Miami. Texas A&M -3. I'm taking Miami for the upset. I think Mario Cristobal has something to prove. I do not believe in Jimbo Fisher. I don't believe that Aggies are ready for that type of pressure, and I think Mario Cristobal has his boys dialed in, so I like that. Florida over McNeese State, bounce back game for Florida. They got to get things ready so they can get Look for Florida to handle their business against McNeese State. Wake Forest against Vanderbilt. That game has already started. Hopefully you took Wake Forest. If you did take Wake Forest, I think they were minus 14. You should get paid. Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky. There's no point spread. That game takes place at 3 o'clock on the SEC network. Vegas ain't putting nothing on that. I'm not mad at that. Mississippi versus Tulane. Ole Miss versus Tulane. I told you. -8. I believe it will be by 14. 12 or more is what I'm saying. At the very least, 12 or more. So that's a safe bet. Mississippi, it's Ole Miss visiting Tulane -8. That game is 3:30 ESPN2. Yes, go ahead and take that. Kent State versus Arkansas, -38.5. Arkansas, remember what I said? I like Arkansas to win, not by 38.5. Their defense would have to cover that. Do I like Arkansas's offense to put up a bunch of points? Yes. Do I like their defense to keep that 38-point spread? No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't like that. Tennessee, Austin Peay. Look for Tennessee to make it do what it do. Also, they are wearing their alternate uniforms today, so you make sure you should y'all check that out. They're wearing alternate uniforms today in honor of the first black quarterback to play an SEC football game. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. Middle Tennessee State against Missouri. They're traveling to Missouri. Missouri is 21-point favorites. I like Missouri to cover. I do. I like Missouri to win by 28. I do. Middle Tennessee, you just played Alabama last week. And if I don't know anything else about Missouri and you going there, Missouri plays tough physical football. They keep a defensive front. I look for Middle Tennessee to struggle. Texas at Alabama, -7. I didn't pick that game, did I? I didn't pick that game, did I? I think I talked about it, but I didn't pick it. I know Josh, late kick with Josh Pay. I know he picked Alabama, -7. Alabama did win last year. Texas crowd was rocking. They were. Texas starting quarterback did not finish that game. He didn't. He will be there today, though. The game plan against Alabama, and I know what it's going to be. Make him throw the long ball. This is 2023. And if this was 1983 and 1993 or 2003, I'd be having a different story. I know what Alabama wants to do, but offenses have evolved as defenses have evolved. Now, we remember a time, if you're old enough, you remember the triple option. You remember the wishbone. Well, we remember the offense that what's the brother name that used to play for Florida back in the day? Tim Tebow. We know the offense that he used to run. We know what that was what Urban Meyer hung his hat on. That was the same offense Urban Meyer ran when he was at Bowling Green. Same offense he ran when he had Alex Smith at Utah. Defense was caught up to it. It is. So now here we have a quarterback who, this is why Nick Saban made the change. We need to understand why he made the change. Because your quarterback needed to read the field. There was a reason why he went from Justin to Tua. Tua was a better thrower. Jalen was a better runner, but Tua was a better thrower. Bryce Young was a better thrower. Bryce Young was able to read the entire field. Okay, well, Bryce Young's quarterbacks like that, they don't necessarily grow up, fall off trees. So now we have a quarterback where his feet are going to set up the passing game. What happens if his feet can't set up the passing game? I did not pick Alabama and Texas because this game scares me. It's Alabama -7. The question then becomes can Texas put up points? I'm not an expert at this. I'm not. Definitely not at betting games. If not, my pockets would be a whole lot bigger than what they are. Alabama -7. As a college football fan, I'm going to sit back and watch this game and just enjoy it. If I had to say who I thought was going to win the game, and this has more to do with Nick Saban than the team itself. I've learned to believe in Nick Saban. So I'm taking Alabama. -7. I didn't get -7 last year. I'm not necessarily sure I'm going to get -7 this year. But I do believe in Nick Saban. So I'm going to take Nick Saban -3 at home against Texas. Listen, that's my time. I'm out. If y'all got to go to the store, make some runs and everything like that, y'all make sure y'all get your errands in and everything like that. We up out of here. It is almost kickoff time. That spread won't be covered. Blue, man, what you, man? God dang it. Let me get these notes, man. Goodness gracious, man. Blue, man, what's going on? That spread won't be covered. That Bama quarterback, I don't know. Scenario, classic trap game. I was happy for Dub, but they beat my Bears in the early round of play. Listen, we are the Bears shuffling crew. Gray is in the building. Yeah, man, I don't know what was going on. I'm in my feelings because I missed all these. Didn't even let me know I had these games, had these notes going on. I need all the coffee right now. Man, I apologize. Good God Almighty Jesus, I apologize. I apologize. Goodness gracious, I missed y'all. That's why I said yesterday that the intention made T'Challa oblivious to that. Yeah. I don't, man, my fault. My fault. He was mad she wouldn't fight, LOL. That's how that came off to me. Man, goodness, he be writing his secret code. That reveal went over most. It did. Listen, you know, he remind me of my younger sister, and I ain't got no younger sister, but he remind me of a younger sister that like to play games and stuff like that. Get the big brother in trouble. Got caught up in the hype. Let me see. That spread won't be covered. Got caught up in the hype. Yeah, so hey man, I'm sorry, man. I don't know how I missed them. Let me do this. Because I you know what? I'm gonna do it like this. Because I apologize. I don't know. The chat thing wasn't going off. I don't know how I missed that because I do like engaging with the people and everything like that. The Rock With Me Nation. Y'all know I like engaging with y'all. So I do apologize for that. Goodness gracious, I don't see how I missed all that. I'm in my feelings now. I wasn't able to interact with the people. And I like interacting. So, but yeah, Alabama, I'm going with Nick Saban. In regards to Besa, we talked about that and everything like that. Yeah, Eve got in there and got out real quick. But she said, did y'all see what she said on social media? It was a sociological experiment. I don't know. I would love to say that I knew what the experiment was because I'm like, okay, is the experiment to see if Black Panther fans are ready for a transgender in Wakanda? I really don't. I got members of the LGBTQ in Wakanda. I got members of the LGBTQ on my wall. I didn't know how to. I don't. It's. And then can we talk about it for a second, real quick? I know people. Something and oppression, differences. I don't understand with me being who I am, knowing what I go through, because of who I am, different. I don't know how me have the audacity to look down at somebody else who's different. I never understood that because I really do believe in our day-to-day life, regardless of who you are, you just want to be accepted for who you are. And if you got a nickname or just another name you prefer to go by, you prefer to go by that. I don't like anybody calling me Gerald. I think the experiment is the romantic idea of her and T'Challa. That has been the discourse about that. Hey, you know what, Blue? First of all, great point. That has been the discourse. And I would, as I alluded to earlier, I think that discourse was set about because of how, well, Basa was first introduced in Black Panther 1, and everybody assumed that she was Catwoman. Even though there were some of us that say, pump your brakes, pump your brakes. That ain't what we doing. You don't know that for sure. There were quite a few of us that said, pump your brakes. But there were quite a few of us that said, oh, she Catwoman. Oh, that's T'Challa. Oh, we want her T'Challa to be with Monica Lynn. We don't want T'Challa to be with her. We want T'Challa to be with Aurora. Why you finna put T'Challa with? Oh man, well if T'Challa can't be, there were too many people that made that automatic assumption that she was the new romantic interest. Too many people. Too many. I'm not gonna say most. I'm not gonna say all. Too many people. So now those same people who made that assumption, they want to make the assumption that that's what's going to happen. Now, as I said Thursday on my live, canonically speaking, I'm not sure if that's a word, T'Challa has always been presented as a heterosexual male. Our social experiments really needed in the Black Panther comic. Johnny Boy already did that last run. You know what? No, they're not. And the sad part is this. I like that question, D. Steezel. Damn near every comic book fan been saying that. Stop politicizing the comic book. Just tell the story. When we read a comic book, much like when we go to the movie theater, much like some people say when they go to watch a football game, we're going to get away from the real world. We don't want to look at the real world. Okay. Well, I get it. I said, trying to tell us about members of the LGBTQ being in Wakanda, we know that already. You trying to introduce a member of the LGBTQ as a potential love interest for T'Challa, I'm going to push back on that all day because since 1966, the dude been heterosexual. Hell, the dude was heterosexual last year. Let's think about that. Even with the way that dude was written by the last author wrote him as a heterosexual male. So what we getting ready to say now? Because I don't want to do this part, but I know some people say it. We finna revisit the whole Bobby Drake thing. Why the reason why T'Challa ain't been able to maintain a steady relationship is because he's... No, we're not retconning that. Like, I get it. I understand why people are having those conversations. Hey, Grand Madam, a lot, if not all, of hateful discrimination is religion-based. Unfortunately, it's all coming out to the public now. It is. I don't think the experiment is needed because T'Challa has been through enough. I agree. Blues House, that's what I think, and I ain't feeling it. Plus, this wouldn't fit who T'Challa is. I think that's what people are missing. It wouldn't. Now, I would ask this because, you know, I said I'm a Batman fan. We're not doing this with Bruce. We're not doing this with Bruce. We're not running those social experiments with Bruce. We're not. And I used a word earlier, and which Holy Grail. Bruce is untouchable. We're not doing this with Clark. We did it with Clark's son, but we're not doing this with Clark. We're not. There are certain things that we've done, even with Jai last year. What did Lord Voldemort do last year with Jai, round by issue 3, to him and T'Challa? He insinuated something based on his writing. What did the message boards do? We lit it up. Don't do that. What did he wind up doing? And you could tell that wasn't his original intent because that story was lame as hell. Oh, now Jai was a friend that T'Challa had way back when. No backstory, no tying it in, nothing. Actually, Eve has done a better job with Inyobi, a much, much better job with Inyobi than he ever did with Jai. But what did he try and insinuate with Jai? That the way the readers looked at it, he was in love. He loved Jai. He loved Jai. He wrote that. He loved Jai in a way he never loved anybody else. Well, we ain't never get this about Taku. And this is when I talk about people needing to read, whether they write in a comic book, whether they are editing the comic book, or whether they're fans of the comic book. He ain't never feel this way about Taku. This dude been here. He didn't see Taku in some skimpy shorts. He ain't never make no move with Taku. So why is this what you saying over here? People had an issue with it. So I see why people would have an issue. I go right back to it again. Taku been there. He ain't never looked at Taku. So what we finna do? We finna say he not interested? We finna play that role? No, don't play that role. There's somebody else that could be interested, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm coming at the writer, because I think she's done a great job. This is more along the lines of those who want to read into something. I think she's done a great job of, one, they got a friendship, chemistry is there and everything like that. Okay, well, guys, there are guys out there that's cool with each other. Their friendship is impeccable. They love one another as friends. They don't love one another as something else. So her and T'Challa could love one another as friends. We as men, we feel some type of way about that word about, man, I love, you can love a female and actually not be in love with her. That just be your dog. Okay, that can be his dog. But we want to imply stuff. No, don't imply it. Don't imply it. Don't accept it. If the sociological experiment Eve could be set and base up for a potential spinoff series 2, it wouldn't sell though hard enough for OGs to sell books. As I talked to, and I think you heard me talk about this when I did the live with Marcus. Consider who we've gotten thus far in her run: Lady Nightshade, Deathlock, a reference to Queen Divine Justice, a reference in issue 4 to Hunter. Well, Shorty, she was in issue 1. DC used to do this back in the day. And if Eve goes this direction, I would review the stories. I would support the stories. I would do my best to educate people on the characters involved in those stories. If Eve was to assemble what we're getting to a degree right now, basically included, a team, Horatio, Venom, Taku, Cantu from the Mute Zone. If she was to low-key assemble a team of Wakanda superheroes, because Wakanda is a nation, and include them coming together, maybe assisting T'Challa, a side story for like maybe say start issue 8 and give me 4 stories, 4 small stories in the back where this team is being assembled and they're doing this stuff. I would buy the issue 1. I would buy the issue 1. I would. Do I believe it would do good? I believe it would do good if you brought in the characters from Wakanda, because there are quite a few readers that want to know about the characters from Wakanda that aren't being used. I believe you could spin that story properly, because Wakanda has what in it? Vibranium. Well, it can't be T'Challa's responsibility to always just protect the vibranium from being stolen, right? If you have these heroes, you don't have to just use the villains that we have not used in Wakanda forever. No, Wakanda is a nation. Dora Milaje, Hattusadaze. You could put Okoye on that team and Hunter on that team as well. Hell, God knows we need to see Casper Cole, because we ain't seen him in a minute. He could be on that team. Well, you could have this team taking on Hydra. You could have this team taking on Dr. Doom. If you look at the fact that Gentle is from Wakanda, right? You could have them taking on some of the X-Men villains to make it entertaining. Okay, we're not reading a comic book with that team in it and Moses Magnum is the villain? Yeah, no, I don't think Besa, to your point, Blue, Eve is doing a good job, but it's a slow burn to me. I needed to speed up just a bit. I think it will. I think it will speed up. Besa wouldn't work as an ongoing, maybe a quick 4-parter, but that's where it would stop. I would buy the if we get something different from Roxanne Gay. Like I don't want to spend too much time in any story revolving around any superhero where we spend too much time on the relationship aspect of it, the romance. That's it's a superhero comic book. I need to see a superhero putting hands or feet on a supervillain at some point in time, solving some type of crime. I'm not here for the Lois Lane, Selena Kyle, Talia Al Ghul. They interested enough just to say, oh, you smashing the villain? That's it. Let's talk about that. Why do them love stories? Why do we care about the story? Oh, I don't think we would be as interested in Clark's relationship with Lois if both of them didn't work at the Daily Planet. Y'all both work at the Daily Planet. Would we really be interested in Bruce's love affairs? Think about it. Damn near every female he done smashed is a villain. Would we really care if they weren't? What was the whole hang up with Barbara? Okay, well, damn, I thought Barbara and Dick, so you finna smash your home? Oh, man, that's messed up. That's it. That's it. Ain't nobody, who, other than them, has Steve Rogers ever really had a love interest? No. Dead ass. Has Steve Rogers ever had a love interest? I'm just asking questions. I don't think we care. I really don't. I don't. Do we really care that Sue and Reed are married? Do we really care? Or do we care about the fact that Sue and Reed been married and now they got a kid? Like, do we really? Because we don't really look at it. Husband, wife. They don't really write comments like Sue and Reed having. If Sue and Reed finna have an issue, that issue is finna somehow involve a villain. We don't really care about it. We don't really care about their marriage. We don't. What's more important? The fact that Lois and Clark then finally got married, or the fact that they got 2 sons and one of them is a member of the LGBTQ? Name more kids. Yeah. No, nobody cares. Like, no, do we really care that Scott Summers and Jean Grey together? Because they not married. Do we really care that they got a sneaky link going? Or do we care about the drama that come along with it? It's the drama. We don't give a damn about that relationship. Don't nobody give a damn. We don't care. We don't care. We never have cared. Do we care? Do we care that Peter going back and forth between Mary Jane and Gwen? We don't care. We don't care. You know what we care about? We care about the fact that the writer that screwed up Mary Jane's relationship. It's like, bro, ain't nobody going for that. It's Mary Jane and Peter. They either together, they not. Even if they're not together, they together. Because when nobody buying Peter and Silk. Silk couldn't do nothing but be Peter's sneaky link. That's it. It's Mary Jane. But nobody, we want to see Peter fight the Sinister Six. That's what that is. Give us some more Lizard. Kurt Connors. Give us some more Kurt Connors. Do that. Give us some more Otto Octave. Don't nobody care about that. Gene like Storm his wife. Yeah, like him. Don't nobody care. You know what we want to see more than anything else? Me anyway. Frenzy and Scott Summers. Because that line messed me up when she told Young Cable, look, I could have been your mama, so watch how you talk to me. Frenzy. If I want to see a relationship, and I know this was in M World or whatever, when Wanda changed everything, House of M, Frenzy. I never saw that. I never knew she looked at this dude like that, and I go all the way back with Frenzy, and I never knew who knew Scott had a thing for the sisters? Scott got us some chocolate. Now, that would be the relationship that I would want to see, be interested in, because I never would have put them two together, regardless of what Earth, what alternate timeline. I'm not putting them two together. But you gave me a story. She was thirsty. I'm just saying. Now, mind you, we talk about black love. I got Bishop. I got Frenzy. I got Tempo. Bishop War College. You know, and Kevin Graveau, who's I think is on Critical Thinkers right now. They had a show live and everything. You know how many black heroes we got in Marvel, and they not linked up. We was in high school, raging hormones, and it was hard for us not to link up in high school. These cats was on a whole behind island. All of them getting along. All of them. Not I'm over here, you over there, you on an asteroid, I'm over here to school. No, they was all on the island. And ain't none of them sisters want to holler at Bishop. None of them. None of them. Bishop frenzy. Amazon ain't no brother wanna. The girl that can temper, the one that can slow time down, that ain't nobody. Gray Scott went, yeah. She tried to get it popping again in the real world. He was like, nah, I'm good. And I don't even, you know what? Scott is good. You know what? Scott don't need nothing else. Scott got Jean and he got Emma. Scott good. No, I'm with him. That's, bro, your hands literally full. And honestly, you can't get away with nothing because both females gonna know when you're doing it. Scott good. He got, matter of fact, he got 3. He got Jean, he got Emma, and he got Madeline. Scott is good. He good. He right. He good. Frenzy. I ain't saying, I'm just saying I need me an action figure with her so bad. I don't even know how I'm customized it, but it's a lot of gentle. It's some folks over there. I'm just saying, like, I ain't saying it like that. I'm just saying, like, it was some folks over there where she could have. It's a lot of us. I got Monica Rambeau. I ain't got none of us. Damn it. I got Misty Knight. Like, it's a lot of us in Marvel, and I don't want to make it sound like that, but we're not interacting with one another like we should. We got who is Sam with? I know y'all gonna tell me Carol Danvers. They ain't got no kids though. How many years? They've been together at least since Secret Wars 2. At least. They've been together at least since Secret Wars 2. And my daggone thing went out. They've been together at least since Secret Wars 2. If I'm buffering, y'all let me know. Trying to make it do what it do. But they've been together since Secret Wars 2. So I don't know. But I need to see something. Kevin Graveau talked about that. Never mind. I started to say something. We need some children. We need some children in the MCU. We ain't got no children in the MCU. Do we have a baby of color in the MCU? Not in the MCU, but in the Marvel comic. Do we have a child that baby? No. Okay. All right. Listen, it's 11:53, 7 minutes till kickoff and everything like that. I definitely appreciate y'all rocking with me. If you have not done so, make sure you click, like, share, subscribe. This was the second video of this. Superhero and SEC Saturdays. That's what Superhero and SEC Saturday. We bringing it every Saturday. College football Saturday. We doing it. And you know we're going to come with a college wrap-up show. Yes, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about, I didn't do it. I didn't get into it. But yes, had the notification bells on because we will be stopping back throughout the course of the day, keeping you up to date with scores, highlights, things of that nature and everything, because today is Saturday and this is what we're doing. So yeah, handle your business. Make sure you got your notification bells on. Click, like, share, subscribe. Thank y'all so much. SEC and Superhero Saturdays. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Peace.